Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Critical Reactions with your host, Bryan. Today we're going to be doing some special selections, which is where you guys tell me exactly what you want me to listen to. I check it out, no exceptions so far. I guess that pretty much sums it all up. Today's special selection is coming at us from Christopher Lindmark. Says, hey there, Bryan. Or is it Bryan? I'm going to lay this to rest because it seems that people don't know. It's been in the description since day one. Bryan reacts to blank. It's the first line of the description. It is with a Y. Yeah. So I hope that everybody in the comments spells it correctly now because I have finally put that discussion to rest. It is definitely with a Y. It's the only proper way to spell it, really. Yeah. Yeah. All right. So let's see. It says I'd love to see you react to the German neoclassical dark wave solo act, Sopor Aeternus. Now that is quite a genre. German neoclassical dark wave, and it's one person. The song is Ensemble of Shadows. Oh, dang. Okay, no. So the band is Sopor Aeternus, and the Ensemble of Shadows. That's quite a band name, especially for one person, right? We have the thing, Sopor Aeternus. I don't know if that's a person or a thing, but it's definitely the noun, and an ensemble of shadows, and yet it's a solo act. The song is Tales from the Inverted Womb. Eerily similar to a funeral march, it features some of the most hauntingly beautiful lyrics sung in a style reminiscent of the German Sprechgesang. I probably pronounced it so bad. Speech singing technique. Stay safe and dreary listening. All right. Dreary listening, for whatever reason, makes me think of Addams Family. Like, I could imagine, somebody from that family, like Morticia being, oh, and dreary listening, hun. Something like that. Oh, man. All right. I have no idea what to think of this. Let's get into it, right? Let's go. I do love how that trumpet pretty much sat on one note and everything under it was changing.
Let me tell you about the beauty of the tomb. The stained glass, all violet, enhancing the gloom. Dark flowers, all withered.
I like the unsynchronized vocal harmonies.
Yet the perfume still lingers, like a secret untold, like a dream or a memory that floats in this vault, waiting for the moment it shall be recalled by some visitor, maybe, who is seeking release from a strange kind of sadness, some unknown disease. Its symptoms are madness caused by the music in his head, sung by an endless choir called the voices of the dead.
Beautiful tone on that trumpet. I really love the way he tapers off his vibratos on the trumpet. That his technique is just so good.
caverns of sound that will lead him the hidden path below the ground, where he shall discover through terror and through fear, behind black iron doors, something is sleeping here. A little dead baby, a young boy lies kept, so fragile and frightened, crippled and sad.
There's an evolution of a melodic idea going on in the backgrounds. I'm not sure what instrument it's on. It might be digitally sampled. That trumpet technique is so good. Aw, man, that's not it, right? Come on. I probably should have looked at the song length because I'm a little disappointed it's already over. I am. I thought we were really building up to something big there. All right, so there's a lot of positive to talk about here. First of all, the funeral march concept that Christopher talked about there. Yeah, definitely present. I love all of the marching aspects to it. It's very rigid, straight eighths. You got a little bit of a marching snare pattern going on in the background. It's primarily brass instruments. There are a couple of woodwind instruments. I want to say I specifically heard a clarinet, maybe a flute, and I want to say there was a harp, some sort of plucked stringed instrument, but I could be off. That instrument was in the background, and I was also getting some ideas of like a hammered instrument, like a piano or a keyboard, hammering a string, kind of thing. Um, yeah, just all around, just it keeps that marching tension throughout with this rigidness and and then the textures. It has these um, almost like majestic textures to it. And I'm going to attribute a lot of that to the brass. Brass to me is just a majestic section of instruments. Um, it might just be that brass, especially the trumpet, is commonly used in majestic scenarios, even going back hundreds of years. Not necessarily trumpets, but the ancestor to trumpets, any sort of horns, brass or bronze horns from the medieval time and stuff like that, probably even before medieval time. But that's kind of when I think of like kings and queens, and you got your horn players, burr, 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 and to me, just brass is majesty. And I'm not saying that because I'm a trumpet player. Trumpets are just the best. Moving on. So yeah, it has like this rigid, majestic march to it. Lots of strength and power. And it really helps, and I talked about this a lot just because it just stood out to me so well. The trumpet playing. I know it gets front and center compared to most of the other instruments. I was trying to really listen to the technique, especially in the tuba trombone, whatever the lower end brass instrument was, in the background. I was trying to listen to technique in that. Woodwind technique, I can't play woodwinds. I've said that before. If it's got a reed in it, I've tried. It doesn't work. My mouth does not work with reeds. I don't know why. I've tried saxophones. I've tried clarinets. I've tried oboes. I mean, those are double reeded. That's probably even a worse thing to try before I get a single reed instrument down. But I just can't play them. I can't get a sound out. It's just air. It's woodwinds are mystical devices that I don't comprehend. They don't obey physics for whatever reason. Um, so yeah, I was trying to listen to some of the other stuff, but the trumpet specifically stood out to me as a trumpet player for like a decade and a half or whatever. God, how long have I? Jeez. Okay. Making myself feel old over here. Yes, the trumpet technique was just phenomenal. The attacks, the releases, the tapering, the very, very tasteful vibrato. Not a lot, not a lot at all, just enough to kind of give the held out notes that usually get tapered off a little bit of movement to them so they don't feel stagnant. Um, and just all of it. The embouchure was just real tight. There wasn't a lot of breathiness in it. It had this punch and power to the sound. Just yeah. And the fact, okay, so this is a solo act. I want to touch on that for a second. This guy out here playing trumpets, trombones, or tubas. The range I think could fit both of them. Um, at least a flute. I'm pretty sure I heard a flute. Maybe a reeded instrument. Might have heard a clarinet or some sort of cousin to the clarinet. Drums. I don't think it was a kit though. It definitely could have been a drum kit, but it also sounded like I heard some timpanis in there. But uh, well, let me take it. I heard a lower end roll, which I suppose could be like an upright bass drum that you hit on both sides. Uh, yeah, like that, and get a nice roll off of that. But to me, it sounded like wider and more punchier. I don't know. It sounded like a timpani roll to me. I don't know how I can explain the difference in sound between a timpani and an upright bass drum. Um, but yeah, that doesn't necessarily exclude a drum kit from the equation, but I'm pretty sure I specifically heard a timpani. Maybe not a group of timpanis, but at least one. That roll specifically stuck out to me. Um, so yeah, he's got some percussion skills. I mean, that was a nice clean roll there. Um, and I mean, the singing, speaking. I assume maybe he sings on other tracks, but I don't think this is a song I should really judge his singing on, since a lot of it was spoken poetry. Um, but still, I mean, the lyrics had weight. The way that he delivered the lyrics had so much emotion, just bleeding out of it. It was just the dude put his heart into this song easy. Um, so yeah, you want to talk about a multi-talented dude. A one-man act putting this together, and I really love nothing to do with the song. I love it wasn't a rock track or a metal track. I know that's kind of what we do around here, but it was not my intention. It just happens to be the audience I've gathered is more metally, and maybe there's a connection between music analysis and metalheads. Not saying anything there. Just saying there might be. I'm not saying anything, but I'm just saying something. Ah, man. I don't know. But I do wish we could have more diversity on the channel. I like themes that bring out weirder stuff. It's why I really enjoyed that we had Billie Eilish in whatever week she popped up in. I don't even remember what that was. I don't know how we got pop song into the into the list, but I'm glad that happened. I like when we get bluegrass in here and jazz and classical. Um, and yeah, so I just Christopher, thank you so much for, bringing this to my attention because like I said, we don't typically work outside of metal and rock. So I do really really appreciate it when you guys use your special selection picks to you know, help me put non-metal, non-rocks. Oh, you know what? I think that was non-rock week. That's how Billie Eilish got in here. But yeah, like I would love to do a pop week. Let's do a pop week. All right? Maybe pop's going to be in the next poll. We're going to see how it does. I don't know if I'd want to do like mainstream pop, but let's just do music that's not. Ah, man, we just did like a ton of heavier stuff. We had growl and post metal and post rock, and I don't remember what was before that, but all right, I'm getting way off topic. So, Sopor Aeternus, yeah, just all around great stuff. I love every bit of it. There was even one little like expanded melodic idea. It started out super simple on what I think was harp, but it could have been digit. It could have been a digital. All of this could have been digital. Hmm. I never really thought about that till now. One man band does not have to play everything. Samples have come a long way. But dude, that trumpet playing sounded real. Like, could you make a sample pack that had those beautiful tapers and light vibratos in them? I mean, technically, yes, I guess you could. Because all you need is a sound like the attack of the instrument, and everything else can be done. Well, maybe a little bit of the extension, like to hold the note out. Everything else can be done digitally. You can add warble, you can fade out. Man, I tell you, it's hard to do this in the digital age because, like, I want to be pressed so bad, and I'm not saying the composition's not impressive. I really dig a lot of what he's going on, of what he put into the music, and like I was talking about, just the entire march and majestic feel that's just pervasive throughout. And the cool thing is, I was talking about how majestic it is, but you also have to realize that majesty, marching music, all of that tends to be upbeat. It tends to be powerful and rich, and this still has a tinge of sadness to it. Like, it's still, as Christopher put it, a funeral march. And just the fact that he can interweave that sadness throughout this majesty, even in the trumpet line, when the trumpet's doing lead. I mean, listen to it. It definitely transitions between sections of power and vulnerability. It's just it's so masterfully written. This whole song is just good. But yeah, so I don't want to take away from the fact that the writing is good, but I think I might be a little disappointed if I found out it was all done digitally. It would not take away anything from the song. It's just that up until now, I've been so impressed that the dude could play so many instruments so well, and it just dawned on me that he might not be playing any of them. Which, again, is not a bad thing. When we checked out um, Kane's Wrath by Doyle W. Donahue a couple of weeks back, Doyle works entirely with sampled music. Um, at least at that point when I had interviewed him and asked him about it. And I asked him specifically about that Dawn of War soundtrack. Um, that whole thing was done with digital instruments. And I think to this day he's still a digital composer. Um, but I haven't checked in on that lately. But yeah, for the longest time, he only used digital stuff. And that song itself was all digital. And it still sounds fantastic. Um, I don't want to say that digital instruments should never be used or that they sound worse than live instruments. I think people who have a very keen ear can hear the difference, but it's becoming more and more difficult every day. And I think there will easily be a point where it will be indistinguishable for the very vast majority of people. Um, I think that humanness will be replicatable. Replicable? Replicable. Replicatable. I don't know. You'll be able to replicate the humanness of performance digitally. I think, I don't know. That's going to be a weird day when I can't even tell. Right now, I can't tell. So, I don't know. All right. I think I've rambled on a bit enough. I love this track. I hope you guys loved it. Just some really cool stuff going on. And again, I really appreciate that it's not rock or metal, even though it does have, I think it has a lot of aspects that could be appreciated by people who listen to rock. It does not feel completely like a march. It does not feel completely like, a classical sextet, maybe I'd say. There's not that many instruments here, which is really nice. They fill up a lot of space and fill up a lot of sound when necessary, but they can fill up that space with, quite a few instruments, and then having the smaller amount of instruments means it's really easy to bring it back down for the smaller sections. So, but yeah, so yeah, it doesn't necessarily feel like a song written for a classical sextet. There's definitely some aspects in it that I think people who listen to rock can latch onto and kind of appreciate. So yeah, I think those are some good stuff too, because it's kind of a bridge between non-rock content and the rock and metal stuff we always do, and finding classical that can be appreciated by rock and stuff like that. I really dig that too. All right, so we got one more special selection coming today. It should be out the same time this one is, if not, like a half hour later. Upload speeds and YouTube processing and all that stuff. But my plan is to have them both launching tonight, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 9 p.m. UTC, as usual. We'll have two more tomorrow for Sunday, and I'm going to put out a little video for this, but I'm also going to add it here for people who've stuck around this long. There will be no videos starting this Monday, the 5th, until next Sunday, the 11th. I'm taking a bit of a personal week off. Yeah, so there won't be any videos. You guys can rewatch some of my old ones or just wait patiently, or I suppose impatiently, for Monday the 12th, where we will start with Dude, You Need to Check This Out week, which is just bands that I need to check out that somehow I've just missed doing this for 8 months now. 9, 10, 11. Oh geez, we're almost at our year anniversary. I think we started this before the turn of the year, right? I think we started this in 2019, November-ish maybe. Golly, we're almost at the 1 year anniversary of this channel. Things to think about. Oh, and we hit 12K, so that's cool too. Completely unrelated, but another thing, a little thing to celebrate. So we hit 12K over the weekend. Nope, the end of the week, yesterday, I think. All right, so way off here. Okay, tomorrow, 2 special selections. Next week, nothing. 1 more special selection coming. Like I said, it should be uploaded right now. You could technically watch this one and that one at the same time, but I'm sure it would be confusing. Just a cacophony of noises and talking and 2 of me at the same time. Who wants that? Yeah. Same thing with tomorrow, though. She both come out at the same time, and I suppose you can do the double video again on that. But yeah, just probably not. It's just not a good idea. It's too much Bryan at one time can really cause, reality warping. It's probably not even a good thing that so many people watch my videos at the same time on their own. 500 people tune in to watch it at 5 o'clock, and reality warps. Too many people looking at my mug. All right, I've rambled on enough here. We're almost at 25 minutes for a 4-minute song, and I don't even think I talked about the song that much, which is a little sad on my part, because it is such a good song. Okay, can't talk anymore. Gotta finish this up. You guys, there's links and stuff under the video and some buttons to push. Like a like thingy. Subscribe button if you're interested in that, and then a description box with a bunch of links in it. One of those links does not work anymore. I've removed it. The special selection thing, I'm gonna also put that in my little update video. But special selections are temporarily disabled. They're getting away from me. I've got a bit of a list now, and I'd like to get through the list. So for the time being, I'm not taking special selection donations. All right, but they'll be back soon, and it will be when I can manage the lists a little better. Because right now, it's you guys have been fantastic. I really appreciate the support. I know you guys want to get your specific songs listened to. It's just I was not expecting so many requests to come in at one time. All right. So yeah, you guys stay awesome, stay safe, have a fantastic morning, afternoon, or evening whenever you choose to watch my videos. And my inflection in this entire ending was poor and it didn't rhythmically fit. Now I don't know how to end it, so goodbye.